Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you heard was none other than the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Go check out the Unholy Four on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, Instagram, and wherever you can find the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Real quick to the business. Friday night, tomorrow night, I am playing in Trenton, New Jersey at the Tierno on Hamilton Avenue.
Is that the legendary Tierno?
That is the legendary Tierno, which he will not, because he doesn't work Friday nights, or doesn't usually work Friday nights, although he worked this past Friday night, which means he's actually not working at all next weekend. The official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast.
So what you're
Tom.
saying is like we really need to pull a booze
really
and vinyl.
Yeah, exactly.
If he doesn't make a drink on a weekend, he starts losing
I know.
his mind.
He's like, what the fuck? Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Starts scratching his neck.
He's
and
like,
shit.
oh man, I wonder what Paul and Adam were up to. Maybe they need me to make a drink for them.
I haven't made anything with gin or fucking Aperol.
Right. So that is Saturday night. I will have to be at the legendary Tierno in Trenton, New Jersey. And then Saturday afternoon, it's a Saturday afternoon show. I will be playing at Viva Alpha Winery, which is the winery where my wedding was held.
It's the winery where I've done 100% of the weddings I've officiated.
There you go. Exactly. And it is a very special weekend there. They're doing this Saturday and Sunday, although I'm only playing Saturday. They're doing a chocolate and wine pairing. They do this every year, and it's a lot of fun. They have these I've played it every year for like the last 6 or 7 years. They have these little like Lindt chocolates, the chocolate truffles, and then they pair them up with the wines that they have and say, oh, drink this and taste this, and it's always really good. It's always a lot of fun. And the whole reason they're doing it is because this Wednesday is Valentine's Day.
I was going to say, it seems like do they do it every year around Valentine's Day? Because it seems like a very Valentine's Day event.
Yep, it is. So happy Valentine's Day to all those who celebrate.
That's why we're both wearing red.
Yes, actually, that's ironic, actually.
We're actually both wearing red to support our favorite team in the Super Bowl.
Yes. He is rooting for Taylor Swift's Red. Nice. I am rooting for Taylor Swift's Red, Taylor's version. Yeah, is what it comes down to.
Exactly.
It's funny because right before you walked in, I did pop it on. Like I fucking could care less about the Super Bowl this year. And I was just popping it on, and I'm like, I saw a cool commercial. But that was about it.
Was that?
Oh, it was actually. I don't know if I'm sure people by now have seen it. It's like it's got Ben Affleck and J-Lo, and he comes in. I guess he's trying to get on her album dressed like they're called the Dun Kings. Yeah, it was pretty funny because Tom Brady's in the back, and then Matt. The funniest thing about it is actually Matt Damon's on the other side. He's like, God, why the fuck am I doing this? You know what I mean? And then he ends it with and they go, oh, and point to Matt Damon. He's like, how do you like them donuts? I'm so sorry. It's like, it's a pretty good reaction. That's awesome. It's like one of those things where you make I'm dying, where you make your friends or family members do something that they're obligated to do and not that they really want to do, which leads me to my co-host and brother.
You mean this podcast?
Adam, the country fallen angel. So,
Jesus Christ.
Listen, on today's episode of the Country Hipster Podcast, we promise you that it will be nothing but a good time. Yeah. It will. And speaking of good times, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking this beer that Paul has apparently been hiding from our producer / director / editor / whatever the hell else you want to call him. This is a New Trails Crisp Lager. Brewed in Williamsport. Where's Williamsport?
Williamsport is about 3 hours northeast of Ottsville Record Garage, actually. Okay. So it's probably 4 hours from Philly.
So fairly local.
It's also in Williamsport is actually where the Little League World Series is held.
Oh, okay. I do know that. Yeah. I know where Williamsport is.
Yep. So it's funny. So we went
there's a comedian, I can't remember which one it is, but it says something about the Little League World Series, or as pedophiles call it, the World Series.
Yeah, right. I don't know what comedian said that, but that's probably pretty accurate. So last summer I've had a bunch of different New Trail stuff, which I've been hit and miss about.
I'm kind of curious now. While you're talking, I'm going to look up how much New Trail I've had.
Yeah, but last summer we went to we went on a camping trip, which is we were actually where we were staying was about an hour past Williamsport. We actually drove through the Little League World Series as it was going on. It was pretty fucking crazy, seeing the stadium.
Just drove right through the World Series.
I know, we were like, fuck these kids, but like the pedophiles say.
Yeah.
And there's No, we like drove like past the thing, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fucking intense. Everything that's going on there, and they have like, like the paid parking areas and it's just a ton of shit. So, but
I've had 3 new trails. I've
Okay.
had the Broken Heels IPA. It's a New England / hazy IPA. I've had the Double Broken Heels, which is an Imperial Double New England IPA, and now the Crisp Lager.
Yep. So when we were going up there, we stopped before we went to the final like campground. There was a Wegmans about 45 minutes from where we were actually staying. So we were like buying stuff there, and I actually saw this in that Wegmans. I was like, oh fuck, I never saw like a new trail crisp lager, because usually what I would see is their IPAs and stuff like that. And they're pretty decent IPAs, but like I said, I'm kind of like hit and miss with when it comes to new trail.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it, but Tom, who we always apologize to, and we haven't apologized for a while, so fuck you, Tom. We're not apologizing anymore because we don't have to. But he actually picked up a 12-pack of it, or a 24-pack or something.
Okay.
While he was there. So I did have it that weekend. I'm like, oh man, this is really good, but it hasn't been around here. And then Friday, me and Katie together, so like we went to this beer distributor down in Doylestown called B&B Beverage, which has it's a little bit better of a selection of stuff than Harrow's, which is like 5 minutes away. But I love Harrow's. It's just like, we're out, we're near B&B, let's go to B&B.
Yeah.
Walk in and they had a huge display to us. So I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm getting
Yeah.
that. So that's why I got it. And Jack drank the majority of the case, but that's all right. I made him save us these last 2.
Now, Paul, you are the sound engineer
Yes.
for this podcast.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at our little mixer right here. What is?
I don't know.
What is? Okay.
I know nothing.
I
about
looked
this.
down and I thought there was a button that said ABV. I'm like, even the mixer drinks.
Yeah,
but
right.
it says 4BV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 4BV. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
mind.
what it does.
Continue.
Jack probably knows more about this
No.
than I do. But like I said, we are going to have nothing but a good time on tonight's episode as we talk about Poison. Open up and say, this was one of my picks. This was, I believe, my 4th in a row.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Actually, I'm bring that stuff up because when
Your 4 trick.
my four trick, it's kind of like my forehead, right? Because I can fit 4 fingers, to my hairline. But
Let's be honest. You could go all your hairline's all the way back.
Shut up.
here.
So what's funny is there's a friend of mine who's from Ireland, from Dublin. His name's Derm, and we would fuck around and like he's a good guy, and would say like, oh well, that's how we see where our hairline is. Like we're either a Paul +3 or a Paul -. I was like, fuck, god damn it, So it's like I'm the level of the where they set it. I'm the bar, and then their hairline is either plus or minus Paul's. So that feels good. Thanks. Jesus Christ. So this is if you hear that
Is your
beeping,
sugar high?
it is. No, it's actually low. It's really low. It's like,
Drink up, Johnny.
yeah, I know. Well, that actually lowers it even more. But whatever. So if I go into a coma on the podcast here, you know why? Because my beeper's going off, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep doing the podcast.
Do you have any cake icing upstairs?
No, I have my emergency orange juice in the fridge, but I'm not really worried about it right now.
No.
All right, so factoids on Poison. Open up and say, this was released on April 27th, 1988, which was about 6 weeks before my 12th birthday.
Okay.
Okay. This is the second.
Wait, one more time with the year. I'm sorry.
1988.
88. Okay.
Yeah, so you weren't even born yet. I don't
No.
even think you were even thought about yet.
No, probably not.
I don't think Zach was born yet. I think
No,
he
Zach's
came-
Zach's 87.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So all right. Yeah.
Yeah, Zach's 87. Kyler's 89. I'm 90.
Okay, cool. This is the second studio album, which spawned 4 hit singles, and one of which hit #1, which was "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," which was to this date the only #1 song that Poison has ever had. The album peaked at #2 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and was certified 5 times platinum in 1991, which means it sold over 5 million copies from 1988 to 1991, which is pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley from Kiss was actually originally slated to produce this album, but then he had scheduling conflicts, so they ended up turning to Tom Werner, who previously at that time had worked with Ted Nugent, Cheap Trick, Twisted Sister, and Motley Crue. So especially those last 2, like I could definitely see, why you would go with someone on. Something I found interesting because when you look at things legally, songwriting credits are, they are listed as, I believe, legally to say you were a songwriter. It comes down to lyrics and melody, right? And most bands, it's like that's why the Beatles, most of the stuff is Lennon and McCartney, you know what I mean, stuff like that, which was one of the things that they always fought about because George Harrison was an amazing songwriter and they didn't really want to include his stuff that often.
I like in Walk Hard when he's in India doing drugs with the Beatles, and like they're talking all the like Justin Long playing George Harrison goes something like, he's like, I'm just trying to get more songs on the album.
exactly. And it does, especially with the more successful bands, it does become a point of contention.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this is that all 4 band members have writing credits on all the tracks.
Interesting.
With the exception of Your Mama Don't Dance, which was written by Kenny Loggins and Jim Messina from Loggins and Messina. So they took a little bit from the Danger Zone there and brought it in. But no, a lot of times, and that's like, it is something that becomes like contentious. Like even we'd mentioned it on the Smith's Queen is Dead episode where the bass player who's dead, Andy O'Rourke, I believe, is dead. And and the drummer did not get any writing credits, and that's because drums and bass aren't considered
melody
or lyrics. So that was definitely, because that comes down to money and then the publishing and songwriting credits, and that's where it all gets. So it's actually funny too. So also, if you saw the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen movie, when they get back together before like talking about Live Aid after Freddie left the band and whatnot, one of the things that they said, if we're going to do this again, whatever we put out, all of us have equal credits. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so obviously, like they I believe each member got like a pretty decent amount of the songs, but on their albums. But apparently, it's still a point of contention with even with Queen, to the point where they were like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna get back together, then we're all getting equal songwriting credits.
Zach and I were discussing the movie Bohemian Rhapsody right around the time it came out. And we were joking about how Bohemian Rhapsody taught us that the way you get AIDS is just staring at someone smolderingly across the room.
Yes, that's because
that's what 90% of that movie is. Just Freddie Mercury going like, ooh, giving the eyes to somebody.
So apparently, Bret Michaels wrote "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" in a laundromat in Dallas, Texas, after calling his then girlfriend and hearing another man's voice in the background. Yeah. So
in my head, his girlfriend at the time was Heather Locklear.
No, I don't know if he ever dated Heather Locklear.
She just seemed like she made her way around some hair metal bands.
She was married to Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
So
who wasn't?
Yeah, I know, right? But there is the whole 6 degrees of separation between Tommy Lee and Bret Michaels via Pamela Anderson.
True.
Yep. The original album cover was deemed inappropriate amongst parental groups and was changed to only feature the eyes, and I will get into that later. So what I actually have on my copy is the original cover.
Weird demon tiger lady.
Yes. And those are the main factoids about this album here. So I will tell you that my first exposure to Poison was actually the video premiere of Nothing But a Good Time on MTV. I liked it too because it was like that video, and a lot of videos then too, like had a little bit of a beginning. You know what I mean? That wasn't like just music. So as this kid washing dishes in the fucking like diner or something like that. There's a pile of dishes and the boss walks in. He's like, "Man, you got 2 speeds, slow and stop." And he gets and the dude walks out and he gets all pissed off and he like fucking kicks open the door and then it's like dan, and so I like that. I got a chuckle out of the slow and stop thing, which I think I've used as a manager a couple times.
Sounds like it.
But it was that was my first exposure to him. So Yeah. So what? I'll get into a little bit more of my feelings, but what are your feelings? I mean, you haven't stabbed me, so I'm gonna guess that this did not become your all-time favorite album.
No, I actually don't have much to say about the album because I actually, instead of listening to the album, watched all 3 seasons of VH1's Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. They made 3 fucking seasons of that.
I had no idea.
I
I've not even
refuse
seen
to
one
believe.
season.
Refuse to. That show came out in like late 2000s.
Okay.
I refuse to believe that anybody in the late 2000s wanted to fuck Bret Michaels.
Like late 2000s, like 2010s, like is
Like
that
no,
what
like 2006 to 2009.
Oh, okay, okay. The late aughts, wouldn't that be the
No, the
more
aughts are 2010 and 2010 to 2020 are the aughts.
Wouldn't that be the teens?
No, it's the aughts.
Why is that not the teens?
I don't know.
Wouldn't the aughts be like the aught 1, aught 2, aught 3?
No, I'm almost 100% certain the aughts are like the teens.
I think you're wrong.
Maybe. I've been wrong before about a lot of shit, but I've always referred to like 2010 to 2019 as the aughts.
No, I think that's the teens.
Probably.
I could be. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a genius here, as you can tell. I can
No.
barely read, which means I don't know numbers very well. But
True.
I'm gonna say you're like the aughts are 2000. To
No, I
2000.
mean it makes 100%. It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
But I feel like I've always heard you.
All right.
I've
So
heard-
at any rate, but you said the late 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's like, wouldn't we technically be in the late 2000s or the present 2000s? I mean, we're only at 2024.
True.
Like the late 80s would be like 88, 89.
Yeah.
Which is actually when this came out in 88. All right, but anyway, go on.
So yeah, I don't know how to list my feelings about this album because I don't love it enough to stab Paul for it becoming my new favorite album, but I don't hate it enough
to stab Paul for
making me listen to it. I like it, but indifferent sounds too good. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I got you. I got you.
I think as I get older, like when I was younger, like, oh, I hate that or I hate this. I don't, I listen to the music I listen to and I hate everything else.
Yes.
But in my old age, it's at the point now where it's not. It's kind of like what I said with the Hooters. Like, it's just not made for me.
Right. Yes.
Was this like probably like a great hair metal album in late 80s? I'm sure it was.
Well, it's funny
because 33-year-old Adam in 2024, it's just not for me.
I looked up as I was in. I didn't put it into the factoids because I didn't really care, but I just happened to see in 2019. That's the cream ale.
No, it's
the ever famous cream ale. In 2019, Rolling Stone magazine put out an article of the top 50 hair metal albums of all time, and this was actually listed as number 26.
Oh,
yeah.
What's don't by chance know what number 1 was?
Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Oh, okay.
Which surprised me. I thought Hysteria is a great fucking album. But I don't know that I'd call it the number 1 hair metal. I mean, maybe it is.
Dude, it's getting better with age.
Is it?
Yeah.
The cream ale? Well, I only have a few left. So
yeah, it's getting better with age.
It came in at 26, which actually I thought was a little low for this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, like listen to it, like it's not so horrible that like I listened to it twice today. It's not so horrible that I'm like I have to turn it off the second like it's done, but like it's just like I'm at the end of the day, like I'm never going to listen to Poison to open up and say again, just because like I used to always say things at work. I used to always say like, oh, I hate whatever this thing is, and then the dude who was the supervisor would respond with, oh, well, that thing doesn't even think about you. And that's how I kind of feel about this album. It's like I don't even think about this album.
Wow,
like, yeah.
Wow. It's like this.
I'd be like, we'd get like 30 of one case of tile, and be like, oh, I hate this tile, and then I'm like, well, that tile doesn't even think about you.
Yeah, that tile lives rent free in your head.
Yeah.
And that tile doesn't even.
That's what I mean. I don't even think about this album. Like.
But you will going forward.
But I mean, probably not.
All right.
But it's it's fine. It's not horrible. It's not offensive. It's to the ears. It's not for what it is, I'm sure it was great. And like I said, when it came out.
Well, I mean,
but...
it sold 5 million copies.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
that does say something.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
I know there's like music where I'll be like, that's shitty music, and it sold 5 million copies. There's still something about that. The fact that you sold that many fucking copies does say something.
No, yeah. Oh, dude, it's fucking the. Oh,
all right, I got
good,
another one
dude.
in there. I'll get to it.
The it lingers. I like it. But yeah, like it's fine.
Okay,
it's whatever.
It's fine.
It's whatever.
I like it.
It's just like I said. It's not. It's one of those albums that aren't for me, and I keep leaning back, and I apologize.
See, I told you we were going to stay that close to the fucking.
But
mic.
now I'm becoming cognizant of it, so that's good. Yeah, it's just not. It's not Adam's cup of tea, you know. It's
okay. That's totally fine.
I'm sure if I was wearing like something that was leopard print, or I had like a bunch of hairspray in my hair,
okay, it is funny. Like,
maybe it would be better. But
I was looking at the back of the album cover, and it has like the 4 guys like in individual pictures, and I'm like, oh, I went to grade school with all 4 of those women.
Yeah,
you know, which I do think is kind of funny when you think about this. And I don't mean it as a disparaging way, because I don't care how anybody dresses. Like whatever you dress, identify, feel however you want to fucking feel. I could care less. It doesn't affect me. What I find funny is that the people who would be pissed off about that are the people who loved like a lot. Not, I'm not trying to like say all of them, but a lot of the people who would love bands like Poison, Motley Crue, you know, those bands who like, you know, you had guys who look like women. You know, they had the big hair and they had makeup on, and the dudes were wearing spandex and all this kind of stuff, would now be like totally like anti-trans people and stuff like that. You know, like, oh, I can't believe they're, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, and you know what I mean. It's just kind of like, dude, do you remember what like the dudes were dressing like to the bands that you liked? But yeah, no, it's just kind of like, again, I could care less. I don't fucking care how you dress or don't dress. It doesn't matter to me. But it is like, you know, the big hair, eyeliner, you know, I mean, which is actually even quite ironic that like the Aerosmith, when they had their comeback in like 88, 87, 88, they wrote a song about Vince Neil of Motley Crue called Dude Looks Like a Lady. You know, and they're all talking about like, oh, he looks like a lady, dude looks like a lady. Well, it's like, dude, Steven Tyler, have you looked in the mirror lately? Steven
Tyler now looks like a grandmom who had a rough paper route.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, and I've seen the meme. It's like, you know, Steven Tyler looks like the cool mom who used to buy the party beer. You know what I mean? And it's like he does. And hey, whatever, dude, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. But
it's funny that you bring up Steven Tyler and that you're wearing a Bon Jovi shirt.
I am.
There's this comedian, I forget his name, but he's telling this bit where like he's in a pizza shop in New York with his dad, and his dad's like this like fucking Guido dude. And Steven Tyler walks into the pizza shop and like sits down and like has a slice, and the dad looks over and like everyone's like, oh, Steven Tyler's here, but the dad looks over and Steven Tyler is blotting the oil off of his pizza with his napkin, so he instantly has to like fuck. He's like instantly like, fuck this dude. So he says something along the line of, he's like he starts giving him shit about like blotting the oil off the pizza, and he kind of like looks up. He's like, all right, Bon Jovi, and like his kid, the comedian's just like turns to his dad. He's like, it's not Bon Jovi. He's like, I know, but
well, I'm wearing my Bon Jovi shirt because I don't have any other like hair metal shirts. I was like looking, I'm like, oh, what do I have? And I don't, so that's why I'm wearing Bon Jovi. Which I still can't talk about why I bought this shirt in the first place either.
We should get Motley Crue t-shirt. That's the thing. I'm saying like I don't think about this album. I don't think about this genre of music. Honestly.
I know. Yeah.
It's just something like I know people. I've known people who are like way the fuck into like their favorite band is Motley Crue, and then I go listen to Motley Crue. I'm like, why?
Yeah. No. And Motley Crue has some good songs, but like, and again, like.
But again, like you know, like what you like, but like, it's just not for me.
Most hair metal, I will say that I'm not like overall like, oh my god, I love hair metal, right? You know what I mean? I mean, I do love this album. This you know, 12-year-old Paul was all about this, and like I was learning how to play guitar, and that was the popular music of the time, and it was right in that where I was in that like era of like do I listen to hip hop? Do I listen to hair metal? Do I listen to alt rock? And I went the alt rock route, which I'm very happy with. But like, it was really kind of very an impressionable time for me musically, to get into what I was getting into. And and again, I was learning how to play guitar at 12 years old. And that was one of the things that did get me, is that I think CC DeVille, the guitar player of this band, he's absolutely amazing on guitar, and is probably one of the better hair metal guitarist out there. I'm not saying he's the top one, so before all you like, it was like, he's fucking no, you got no, he's one of the better ones. I'd probably put him in the top 10 to 15. I'm not really sure, maybe a little higher than maybe 5 to 10. I don't know. I'd have to like really think about it, but he's definitely one of the better better guitar players.
Would Malmsteen fall into hair metal?
Yeah, I would. I would put Malmsteen in
because he'd
there.
probably be like top 3.
You have Malmsteen and like Satriani, and I mean, even Eddie Van Halen would fall into hair metal.
Yeah.
Even though like Van Halen kind of like walks that thin line between just regular rock and then hair metal, and then you get Van Hagar, which goes straight hair metal. You know what I mean? And so it's really, like they're kind of over it, but like, I mean, I guess you would put Eddie Van Halen as the number 1. Yeah, I don't know.
For some reason,
yeah.
Siri, go the fuck away.
Yeah, but but overall, like CC DeVille is an excellent fucking guitar player, and that's one of the things that I liked about this. And it's just a good rock album.
No.
Not the best. It's not the best rock album, but it's fun. It's a fun album. So as I was saying, the cover.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I feel like I remember seeing something about this where like that was deemed inappropriate.
Yes. So this cover that we have here, which you can see up there behind me, for the people who are watching us, for the people listening, it's basically the model is apparently Bambi is the model.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but
I know everyone knows who
she was a
Bambi is.
1980s model, and she's like dressed up in red and kind of like a tiger or like dragon type of thing with this huge fucking tongue, right? Like, I guess by 1980 standards, like parents really found that offensive. The PMRC and other parent groups were probably like, oh my god, I can't believe that. So it was censored. So the what they turned around doing was, on the new album cover, basically it's black across the top, black across the bottom. You just see the eyes, and it says Poison and Open Up and Say So after it was banned, I was in Clover with my mom. Let's see, from my mom.
So let's give it up for Clover.
In Clover, yes. So I was in Clover on Cotman Avenue, shopping with my mom. We were down in the basement, and in the basement is where like they had the toys, and they had some like albums and tapes and stuff like that. And I looked over, and there is the cassette of Poison, Open Up and Say Ah, the uncensored cover.
Oh.
And I turned to my mom. I'm like, Mom, we have to get this. And she's like, why? I was like, Mom, this cover's been censored. This is a fucking collector's edition. Like, this is going to be worth money someday. I need this tape, Mom. This is like 12-year-old Paul, like sitting there like, I got to get this tape.
You're probably the only kid who ever's like argument to why we have to get something is because this was censored.
Yes.
And
yeah. I was like, Mom, you're not going to be able to get this cover. Like, we got to get this. And like, my mom just looked, she's like, whatever, fine, we'll get it.
As long as you stop talking
to
me.
Exactly. Which ironically enough, my mom actually liked this album. And she liked Poison a lot. Like their next album, Flesh and Blood, they had this song called like Unskinny Bop on it. My mom loved Unskinny Bop. Like Michael's, our brother Michael, friend of the podcast, Michael, his one of his cover bands would play Unskinny Bop, and anytime she did, she'd be in the kitchen like Unskinny Bop, dancing around and shit. And at that point, I was done with Poison. I'm like, oh, really, Mom? What do you fuck?
Poison's lame.
Poison's lame. I'm gonna take this like fucking collector's item and just fucking throw it out. Which actually, I don't even know what I did with it.
Flesh and Blood's cover was never censored.
Yeah, right. I did listen to that tape like a lot, and I don't know what happened to it, which just kind of defeats my whole purpose of like, oh my god, this will be worth money someday. Which I guess in a way it could have. Like I remember a while back I had come across like somebody like sold me like 250 like metal albums, like like hair metal albums, and it was an original pressing with the original cover. So I was like, all right, cool. And it ended up at the time was probably ended up selling for like $25 or something like that, which was still cool. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like I almost kept it. I did almost keep it, but I was like, yeah, I'll sell it. I don't really care that much. Of course, then I go and buy it and put it in my 25.
Yeah.
So, but I probably should have kept that other one. But whatever. I was, sometimes you do that. But yeah, so that was it. I will say definitely the best songs in this album are the hits. They have the 4 hits that were.
I'm assuming Every Rose Has a Thorn.
Every Rose Has a Thorn.
Nothing
Fallen
But a Good
Angel,
Time.
Nothing But a Good Time, and Your Mama Don't Dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rest of the songs are still good. It starts off with like a nice 1-2 punch of like arena rock songs like in your face. You know what I mean? I think you could have or should have started the album with Nothing But a Good Time. But like, you did a Love on the Rocks, it's fine. You do that and then, go into that and but it has even the songs that aren't the hits are still catchy, poppy rock songs. And honestly, when you have an album that features arguably the greatest rock ballad of the 1980s and possibly of all time, that says a lot.
Yeah.
It's so where so that's the thing. So let's talk about Every Rose Has a Story. Number one, let me tell you that I played it last night at the Horse.
Did you?
So it was really weird night there. Weird because like the place was actually packed while I was playing. And usually like when I'm playing from 5 to 9, it's an okay crowd.
Yeah.
But like, karaoke follows me at 9:30, and that's like so it's towards the end of my third set is when like the place really starts to fill up.
Yeah.
Yesterday, like the first set was a little like slower, but like right as I started my second set, like it fucking got packed. Like the place was fucking packed. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Like, there are a lot of people there and whatnot. I was even joking with the owner. I'm like, look, see, I fucking packed the place. He's like, these people aren't here for fucking you. Shut the fuck up. He's like, you're delusional. I'm like, yeah, no, I am.
They want to sing the karaoke.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. It's because of me. He's like, yeah, all right. But he's a good guy. I like the owner. And because he keeps giving me shows. So, yeah, so the place was packed, and like I'm doing well, and like people are kind of paying attention, and clapping a little bit, and then like I'm just start hitting like the first couple chords to Every Rose, and this dude at the bar like I'm sitting there like, wait, is he just being a dick or does he really like this song?
Is he into it or is he just being an ass?
And then I'm like, how does he actually know? For like I literally like hit like the first like couple like strums, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, and then I started singing it, and he's like, yeah, like going even more wild. I don't even think he was that drunk yet either. And then I get to the chorus, and like all the people he's with are singing the chorus with me. So I'm like, oh okay, so they really fucking like this song. But think about that. Think about like the rock ballads that are out there. Like you almost have like 1 and 1A between Every Rose Has Its Thorn and Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like there's some other really good like rock ballads out there, but like those are like 2 of the best rock ballads ever written. Yeah. You know what I mean? And one of them is on this album.
Yeah.
So, I can't deny it. And I enjoy playing it. I know I used to Birmingham 6 used to like I used to make them play it every now and then. And James, our bass player, gets so fucking, he's like, I fucking hate this song. I hate this song. I'll be like, yeah, you're playing it though, aren't you, buddy? No. We haven't played it in a while. But yeah, I would sit there and just go into like Every Rose Has Its Thorn and be like, God damn it. So it'd be fun. We enjoyed it. We enjoy ourselves in the Birmingham 6 every now and then. So not often, but every now and then we enjoy ourselves. So
I'm trying to think, like, there's a movie where Every Rose Has Its Thorn. There's a part, I can't remember what it is.
No,
it's gonna bug the shit out of me.
Well, that's not good. Can't get bugged. So, but no,
it's either a movie or an episode of Chappelle Show.
Could be Chappelle Show. Could be. I don't know. I love Chappelle,
No.
but I know he's problematic now in some communities, but I still like Chappelle. I like this album, man. It's just like it is one of those things. Like when I think of like 1980s music and like hair metal, and like I'm not going to sit there and just call it metal. Like I am going to specify this is hair metal. There is a difference between metal and hair metal. You know what I mean? Like you have Poison and Motley Crue and Kix and Wasp and Britney Fox and you know what I mean. You have all those bands that are hair metal, and then you have Slayer and Iron Maiden and fuck, I'm like drawing a blank, but there's definitely a separation between hair metal and regular metal. I mean, even though they're like beyond, they're not from the 1980s, but like Lamb of God is metal. They're not hair metal. You know what I mean? So definitely, but still, even though I still think that fucking it's hair metal is better than that new metal Systems of a Down Papa Roach bullshit.
It's interesting because like you were saying how you're when this album came out, you were kind of in a thing where it's like, should I listen to hair metal? Should I listen to alt rock? Should I listen to hip hop? Two of those three have continued.
Yeah.
Like the only hair metal band that's current is Steel Panther.
Yeah.
And Steel Panther is making fun of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, wasn't Steel Panther like a Spinal Tap type of thing?
Yeah, they
wasn't Bradley Cooper in Steel Panther?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I saw something like Bradley Cooper was
maybe he like was like at a show and just like sang.
Oh,
with them,
okay. All right.
But yeah, like Steel Panther is like kind of like poking fun at like I've seen like videos of like Steel Panther performing live and like one of the dudes talking about how someone stole his whammy bar. So if you see anybody doing dive bombs in the parking lot, let them know or some shit like that. Like,
all right, yeah.
Like they're making fun of the whole fucking big hair and eyeliner and spandex bullshit.
Right.
But it's interesting that like it's something.
Well,
that
I will say one of the biggest tours of last summer was a stadium tour with it was Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Toured all over, and I know that the show at Citizens Bank Park was fucking it was sold out and it was packed.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like people like you putting this album on your 25, like people still remember this music, but no one's coming out with like probably the most legitimate, like not making fun of it, making fun of the whole thing, like hair metal band you could probably say is like The Darkness.
Yeah, no,
the Darkness haven't had a hit since when? Since
the thing called Love.
Yeah, when did that fucking song come out?
Yeah,
like,
but they also they did actually recently have an album come out. But no, like to your point, you're right. I mean, of the three genres that I like, it was kind of at that crossroads. Like, yes, you would, it was like, do I listen to hair metal? Do I listen to alt rock, or do I go with hip hop, which I was already listening to at that point, and
which now makes me wonder. So you said you would take hair metal over the new metal, new with an umlaut bullshit. Is it just like a thing where, like, cause is there any current new metal bands?
I have no idea.
That's what I mean. Like,
I don't know, because I just kind of wrote off.
Is it like genre. A thing of just every generation where there is a weird subgenre of metal that kind of just comes in and then dies out?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Because the 80s had hair metal. The 90s, late 90s, early 2000s had that new metal bullshit.
I mean, death metal's still around, but death metal never went away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Death metal's a whole different fucking genre. I actually, speaking of death metal, like I love, like the meme.
You love Cannibal Corpse?
Yes, I love Cannibal. No, I don't. It's the meme of like the death metal band and all in black and white, and then it's a husky, and it the husky's like looking right at the camera, and it says, week 32, and they don't realize I'm a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, so I think that's kind of funny. But no, I mean, death metal's like a whole other thing. And this is like, when I say that I don't like the bands, and I don't like the genre, so much, I'm not disparaging the musicianship of any of that. Do you know what I mean? It's just not.
It's like it's like we've talked about.
Yeah,
there's people who are excellent musicians who we just don't care for their music.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I don't. I mean, even regular metal that's out now, I don't really get into it. I don't really listen to it. No. I'm not seeking it out or anything like that. I'm not going to. I will say that like
Unless it's Ghost.
unless it's Ghost.
Is Ghost metal?
I don't know what Ghost is. I always thought Ghost was like a metal band.
Well, like, yeah, when I
But
see them,
but then you hear them and I'm like, well, this really isn't. This is almost like it's almost like Muse. Like if Muse was a metal band, it would be Ghost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of got that feel to it. And I don't really like Muse, but I don't mind Ghost. You know, I never really listened to Ghost. I never really, but the things I've heard, I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. It's like theatrical.
What's the lead singer's name?
I have no idea.
Is it like Papa Midnight or something?
Beats the
No,
fuck out
Papa
of me.
Midnight's a character from Constantine.
This
dude,
is actually really progressing well, man.
Whatever that fucking dude lead singer from Ghost name is. I saw a video where he threw out the first pitch of some baseball.
Oh, that's
game.
great. That's awesome.
I know it's Papa something. I just can't remember what it's fucking called.
You know what? It's probably like and they're not even that modern. Like I like Guar. Do you know what I mean? They're still around.
I was actually talking about that. I was talking about that at we were talking about that at work the other night. How next time Guar is in Philadelphia, I want to see Guar.
Yeah.
I probably know 2 Guar songs, and it's because of the movie Empire Records.
You don't need to know.
Yeah,
Guar
but that's what I was
songs.
thinking.
That's the thing.
I just want
really
to experience a Guar show.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Next time Guar comes, you let me know.
Yeah.
Or I'll let you know. I will go to see Guar.
I would say, and I feel like most of the fairly frequently, Guar generally ends up playing in Philly around Halloween.
Probably. I mean, it's smart. It's like it's like movie theaters bringing back John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah.
Around Halloween, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so it would make sense to do that. But no, I mean I do enjoy Guar, but that's the thing. Like I couldn't name a recent Guar song or a recent Guar album. I know they're still around. I actually have one of their albums upstairs, which I think is the only one where I would know like multiple songs off of, and I can't even tell you what those fucking songs are at this point.
I don't know how to pronounce that word.
What's that?
Emeritus. Emeritus?
You're asking me to
pronounce
something.
Emeritus?
Papa Emeritus. Emerit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Papa something.
The dude from Ghost, Papa.
Papa Smurf. We'll call him Papa
Papa
Smurf.
Smurf.
Can we call him Papa Smurf?
Yeah.
Ghost featuring Papa Smurf. So, but yeah, no, and like I said, there is definitely a difference between, like hair metal and then, it's funny because a lot of hair metal, I think like the genre kind of died, but still kind of stayed around to an extent when you look at bands like, who are those fucking bands? Like Stained. Am I thinking of the right band?
No.
Maybe I'm not.
No.
I'm probably not.
So start this sentence again. Hair metal died out, but it's
like it's still kind of around, they're just not doing the hair.
Yeah, no, not Stained.
Not Stained?
No.
Okay. It's probably bands that like
Stained is like I'm on the outside. That's Stained.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
No.
man, I think there's definitely a direct line there.
Maybe I just don't listen to Stained.
I'm just thinking of like bands like that. I'm trying to think like some of like the other ones, like basically bands that like Michael likes, our brother, that like that are more modern, like that are past the hair metal thing. I think are not far.
Does Michael like Stained?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he likes Stained, and there's like some other bands that I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is probably what hair metal evolved into.
It's funny because
which a lot of times is just considered just rock.
If you ask me, current bands that Michael is into, the only thing I could come up with is Godsmack.
That'd be another one. That would be another one though, that I think is a derivative of the hair metal. It's like kind of like the next. It's not metal. It's a little bit different than just regular rock.
It's shit.
Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly, but like Godsmack would be one of those bands who I think, or like I'm trying to think like who some of the other ones are. Yeah, I can't really think of it because I don't really listen to them that much.
I just asked Katai how she feels about Godsmack.
Oh, she probably loves them. No, actually, who knows? But that's where I think like kind of like hair metal went to, or bands like Stained and Godsmack and that genre of metal that's kind of rock, not totally metal, a little like almost like it almost
hard rock?
It almost all went hard rock.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Where there was a difference between hard rock and hair metal at the time. So like Foreigner at the time was a hard rock band.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas then Poison was a hair metal band. Now they've all kind of like, sort of kind of hard rock is kind of
Yeah.
melded into what some of this stuff is now, which I think is a direct line. Like the hair metal people had nowhere to go, so it's like, all right, come on, Warrant, join us here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Skid Row, come on over.
They all had to take away their the shit football players put under their eyes.
Yes. That was like more of a Motley Crue.
They had to
thing.
take that away and get a
Yes.
real job, so now
Yes.
they just listen to hard rock.
Well, they like once Metallica cut their hair. You know what I mean? That's where Metallica. By the way, I'd never considered hair metal.
No.
Metallica's metal.
Yeah.
Like even the
Well, it's basically right there in the name.
yes. Well, yeah. But like but I know even like then like it was thrash metal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like I haven't like in depthly listened to anything Metallica after Injustice for All. But
Aside from Saint Anger.
no, I didn't listen to that either. But
That's another thing. I like Metallica. Those songs just weren't written for me.
okay.
Just don't care for Metallica.
I like Master of Puppets. I do like.
And again,
Up to Injustice for All,
I
but-
don't disparage their musicianship.
Right.
But I just I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I did, however, see a video the other day. There's a concert in like fucking Russia in like '91, where like Metallica played to like 1 million fucking people.
Yep.
Like it was an obscene amount of people.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. There was another thing that was in Russia as well that was like kind of like a festival. The Metallica thing was separate.
Mm-hmm.
The Metallica thing was separate. They might have taken part in this festival. I want to say like live at Gorky's Park or some shit like that, where it was all these metal bands, most of them hair metal bands that played in Russia, and it was like this huge fucking thing, and there were like a couple million people at that as well too. Which is the other thing too, man. Like I fucking wish I could have gone to see the Monsters of Rock tour back in the 80s, which was like these tours like every year that had just like the 1 year it was I can't even think of like but I know like Scorpions was on it and fucking Van Halen was on it, Anthrax was on it, and like all that, like it was be like 4 or 5 bands on it. I think it actually even came to JFK Stadium in Philly. I think when it came to Philly, that's where it played. But like, it was like, fuck, man, I wish I could have fucking gone at that time to the Monsters of Rock, but I didn't, and my mom wasn't going to let me go. Probably for the right reasons, because I was like 12 years old, like, trying to be like, let me go to this metal concert. You know what I mean? So,
Mom, Anthrax is playing.
but yeah. So yes, this album definitely. Not the greatest album in the world, but I do love this album, and it holds a special place in my heart, which is really what the 25 are about. Is the special place in our hearts that these albums hold.
I went with this one because Thunder Down Under.
Thunder Down Under,
It's-
yeah. Katie really likes the Fatheads Brewery stuff. I'm indifferent to it. I don't
think Fatheads makes anything besides IPAs.
Yeah, I know, and that's probably why I'm not that into them.
Yeah.
But she really likes them, so she bought a mixed 12-pack of that, so I brought a couple in for today. So I don't know, man. Do you have any more feelings about Poison? Open up and say
No, listen to it and form your own opinions. Don't listen to mine in my quasi indifference, I guess you'd call it. Like I said, it's just not made for me. Like maybe there's someone out there. There's definitely people out there. There's 5 million albums sold worth of people out there who this album speaks to.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's just not for me. And again, musicianship on it is good.
Yep.
It's just I just don't give a shit about hair metal.
And that is fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair. Who might give shit about hair metal?
I hope she doesn't give a shit about hair metal.
You hope that. Oh, what the fuck, dude? You're like spilling beer. It's party foul.
Party foul.
Party foul. The fuck? Don't you can clean it up later. Who gives a fuck? So Regina, listen to this album 4 times.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I mean, in all fairness, I listened to it twice today. So
Yes. So
Was she having nothing but a good time?
I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far. She, much like you,
No.
I believe, is indifferent to hair metal.
Yeah.
So first time I played this for her, it was funny. I was expecting this to go to a dislike because she definitely had a look of disdain on her face the first time I was playing it
Yeah.
for her, but she wasn't reacting necessarily negatively. It was just kind of like, so this is what we're doing? Like, really? This is what you're making me listen to.
Nah.
But like not freaking out, not crying, anything like that. Just kind of like, So the second time I played it for her.
All right, let's just get it over.
Yeah. Second time I played it for her, she fell asleep.
No.
Third time I played it
Second
for her.
time she was like, this again?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Third time I played it for her, and Katie was in the car too. She listened to it, but just again didn't react. She didn't have the same look of disdain on her face, but like it was just kind of like whatever. And then the fourth time it was on, she fell asleep again. So definitely, as they would say, the album is lulling for her. So it lulled her to sleep. So again, not a negative reaction, just kind of like a no reaction. Like I said, she really did have like a look on her face like, what the fuck are you making me listening to the first time I did it? But it never developed from there. She was probably like, it's not bad, but like, I don't really want to listen to this. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it wasn't bad enough that she needed me to turn it off. So so it goes down as an indifferent. This is the 9th indifferent of the season. Excuse me, I burped. Sometimes I forget that Katie can hear us upstairs, so she just texted me because she asked me to say something and I said it, and so hopefully I got some brownie points from my wife. I said it was lulling, and she told me earlier you got to say it's lulling because we watched this thing.
I just imagine she's upstairs with like a glass to the floor,
right,
like waiting for you to say
what's he saying? What's he doing? So we watched this thing with Regina on like HBO or Max, whatever it is now, and it's like this.
Is it Taxi Cab Confessions?
It is.
Yeah.
It's like a 25-minute thing just about dreams. Like that's the whole thing. And there's like some songs and stuff like this. And the one has this like creepy little girl singing this lullaby that she wrote. And she's like, well, it can't be all jumpy like rock and roll. It's got to be nice and relaxing. It's got to be lulling because it lulls you to sleep or some shit like that. And you're like, God, go away, creepy girl. Yeah. But yeah, Katie asked me to say that. Like,
she's just, you see her at the end of your hallway, just like la la la.
Yes. So Katie asked me to say that it was lulling, and I did. So I got a text message from Katie saying that she heard me say that.
I fucking heard you.
I heard you, asshole. I know what you guys are talking about down there, because she's literally right above the Outsville Record Garage here. So it is an indifferent. This is our 9th indifferent album. That leaves you still at 10 likes and 4 dislikes, and me at 11 likes and 3 dislikes on the Regina Factor. So what were your top 3 songs, Adam? Is it Every Rose Has a Thorn, Every Rose Has a Thorn, and Every Rose Has its Thorn?
I got a top 2.
Okay. All right, what do you got?
Number 1, specifically for its use in the 2003 skateboard comedy movie Grind. Nothing But a Good Time.
Okay. I don't think I've ever actually seen Grind.
And I'm going to go with Your Mama Don't Dance because it reminded me when I was in high school, specifically my senior year, I was in the music program at my school, and the jazz band always played Your Mama Don't Dance.
Okay.
So there was this one kid who was new to the program who was joining the jazz band, and the instrumental teacher was giving him shit because he was like talking back to him or something like that. He was like, "Do you know Your Mama Don't Dance?" And I just happened to be walking into the room at the same time as he's yelling at this kid, asking him if he knows how to play the song. So this dude just goes, "Do you know Your Mama Don't Dance?" And I'm like, "Are you also aware that your father does not rock and roll?" And the teacher just looked at me and started laughing. I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Okay.
So because of the shitty skateboard movie Grind, I will say Nothing But a Good Time.
Okay.
And because of this funny memory I have with Mr. Herman, I will say Mama Don't Dance.
Okay, Mama Don't. Okay, so let me ask you then. I'll just, before I give any of mine, does that mean you have multiple dislikes? If you
No, I only have one dislike.
You only have one dislike. Okay.
Yeah, I only have one hard dislike.
Okay, what is it? Since I brought it up. No.
You're jumping segments.
I'm jumping segments. We're within the segment, so it's allowed. Plus, it's my fucking podcast.
Sure.
So.
Your picture is on the fucking logo.
Exactly.
My hard dislike is Back to the Rocking Horse.
Okay.
It's just like it's very annoying to me. Like I don't want to skip anything on the. I don't even want to skip Every Rose Has its Thorn, but I want to skip Take Me Back to the Rocking Horse, or Back to the Rocking Horse.
So I was.
It sounds it's just fucking rich people complaining about being rich. Like, oh, you couldn't sleep all night. You were tossing and turning because you had too many coked up 20-year-old blonde girls in your bed.
Do you know how like difficult of a thing that is to deal with sometimes?
Yeah, I know. It's just like. They couldn't sleep all night because their head was so fucking heavy from all the hairspray. Like fuck off.
That song definitely was. I thought about that for my
For your bottom.
for my bottom, but then like I was like back to the rocking horse, and I was like no, I fucking like it.
I didn't care to do any research into it. I'm assuming the Rocking Horse is like a venue that they started at.
Oh, I have no idea. I think that's like kind of like I'm back in the rocking horse. I'm back at it again.
Oh,
when
with listening to it, I assume like the way like he made it, the way he was singing made it sound like a place.
Oh, maybe
as if like the Rocking Horse was a bar that they got like their start at.
Could be. I don't know. I have no idea. You should Google it up. So my top three are, for obvious reasons, Nothing But a Good Time. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Fallen Angel, which I fucking loved that video for Fallen Angel. Definitely had a girl walking around in her underwear like the whole time. And then my number 3 is Your Mama Don't Dance. It's a very, very good version of Your Mama Don't Dance. I have an honorable mention of Look But Don't Touch, for the reason that like, when you look at it, it's not the greatest song in the world, but when you listen to that song and the fact that he's like, you have the music going and he's literally just telling this whole story. It's almost like a folk type of song. Like really, like when you think about like how folk songs are, where you have like the music playing and someone telling a story, going along rhythmically with the music, but not necessarily exact to the music. That's kind of what this song is. It's kind of what Look But Don't Touch is. So I kind of like respect it to an extent, you know what I mean, especially with the hair metal, because there's a lot going on there.
They're going back even further than I anticipated.
When
they're saying Back to the Rocking Horse, they mean like back to when they were a kid.
Oh, there you go.
I took it as like that, like the Rocking Horse sounds like the name of a fucking bar that
yeah, it does. It would. Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, good.
Okay. And then my least is actually Bad to Be Good, which is the last song on the album, which honestly, when you get to that point, it's just kind of like, why is this on here? And which is probably why it's the last song.
It's funny because I had that feeling that why is this on here when I fucking put on started the album. Like, Love on the Rocks was playing. I'm like, why is this fucking on
rocks
here?
No, man, it's fucking good. It's good shit, man. I don't know what your problem is. I do not understand why you don't love this album the way I do. All right, at any rate. So, would you mind?
It's because I wasn't born until 1990.
No, actually, I'll grab it. I got it. So, what I have here, ladies and gentlemen, for
this was a color vinyl, right?
This is a 2020 reissue. This is a translucent gold vinyl. Okay, it has a gatefold jacket, which you cannot see the inside of my gatefold because a lot of my records I leave the shrink on. I know a lot of people will say different things about that. Oh, you shouldn't leave the shrink on because then it, puts impressions into the cover. Da 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 da. Well, I don't have any fucking
impressions of what.
Like you get ring wear. You know what I mean? But honestly, the reason you get
from how?
Because
how would shrink on the record cause a ring wear?
Because what people feel is that because the shrink is tight, right? So people feel
it's tight, but it's not
tight, right?
It's not tight.
But generally, what people feel is that I'm saying people, I'm not saying me.
Yeah, okay.
Is that because the shrink is so tight, even though you open it, like you cut it like a certain special way, and you know. It loosens it up.
I think we talked about it on the one podcast where I got a paper cut underneath my thumb from running my thumbnail over the crease, which is how I always open records.
Yes. So what'll happen is people think because the shrink is tight, and you have your albums in the shrink that it will cause ring wear around the album because everything's so tight. So you should open it up.
Not to mention the fact that this is how everyone stores their records, and it's a bunch of records pressing on each other.
Well, that's what I was about to get to. Is that's maybe to an extent that'll happen, but if you store your records correctly, like mine, I've had this since 2020, stored correctly. I have no ring wear on the sleeve of this album because I don't put too many records on each shelf.
No.
You know what I mean? You got to leave a little bit of space. Like if you're
You
having trouble,
you got to leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. If you're having trouble pulling your records in and out, well, you have too many fucking records.
This should be
on the
another
shelf.
T-shirt for the podcast.
Yes.
Leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Country Hipster Podcast.
Yep. But that's the thing. If you store your records correctly, and you put them up, and you don't put too many on, you should be able to walk up to your records and pull them out very easily. If you do that, you can leave your records in the shrink and not end up with ring.
There's been actually there's been a couple things I've seen in my woodworking where it's like cool looking little fucking shelves, I guess would be the best word for it, to put your records on. And like the one I saw is it's basically 2 boards that run parallel, and then there's 2 boards that run perpendicular on an angle, so the albums kind of like just sit up. Like, and like it looks cool. I like the way it looks very aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
But I fear that like those 2 pressure points on it would be detrimental.
It depends on how many records you put in. Just don't put too many records in.
No.
You know what I mean? That's what it all comes down to. Is just don't put it so your records are packed, in there so tightly. If you have so many records that they're packed tightly on the shelf, get another fucking shelving unit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whether it's a bookcase, whether it's like the squares, like IKEA's like Halax, I believe is what it's called. Fucking good shit, man. It's good stuff. Like,
go behind your local Wawa and steal a fucking milk crate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, actually, regular milk crates are actually too small.
What I used to have is, I don't know where the fuck we got them from. I think my mom and sister, I think mom and Kylie took them when Kylie was learning how to drive.
Okay.
I think they randomly stole a bunch of milk crates from somewhere.
Okay.
To teach her how to parallel park. Like they would stack them up. And they were normal, like, what's a milk crate? Like 13 by 13?
No, they're not. They're smaller. That's the
problem.
Are they?
Yes. So these ones were like a normal, like they were normal milk crate depth. But they were like double wides.
Right. Yeah. No. I have some of those too. Yeah. I've actually, that's what's holding up the bottom shelf. There is all those.
No, those are like normal. No. I'm talking like these were like the length. Like these were like this fucking long.
Like that one right there. You guys can't see it. But this is bad. This is bad radio.
No, even longer than that.
Well, I have no idea what
they
the fuck
they were literally like this long.
Yeah, like that one over there.
Yeah, that one looks shorter.
Yeah, no, it's not.
From here, I'm looking at.
That's
the
not.
light.
But you can put it that way, but you can't put it sideways. Like I have some special ones that DJs used to have, which is actually I got them from Mike, that you can fit records into, like the guys over here. But they are like 14 by 14.
Okay.
If you go to like fucking behind a Wawa and grab one of their milk crates, you can't fit records in it because it's too small. So, and I think they started making them too small because people were stealing them for their records. But at any rate, I have a 2020 reissue by Friday Music on translucent gold vinyl with a gatefold jacket.
Friday
Music.
No, isn't Friday like Friday does good shit, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
I had something by Friday, and then you were like impressed that it was a Friday pressing.
Yep. And this is this has the original album cover. My very good plus value on this is $25.99, bringing it to $26,
which is just about what the original pressing with the original album cover sold for.
Mm-hmm. That brings my running total to $733. The Adams running total of $811, putting you $78 to the plus. This is the closest that we've been
in a while
since episode 30.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry, no. Yes, well, this is the closest we've been since episode 30. You have had the lead since episode 12.
Oh, okay.
Which was the Steel Train. That's where you took like the lead.
Yeah. That's where I fucking jumped.
Episode 30, we were about $50 apart.
Which, if I remember correctly, like episode 30, I remember you discussing it, where my average price per record was like way less than your average price per record. So like when I was ahead, you were only like 2 records, like a record and a half behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So episode 30, we were about $50 apart.
Yeah.
And obviously it's grown. This is the closest we've been since
So wait,
then.
I'm sorry. What are we at right now? The difference?
The difference is $78.
So we're back down to double digits.
Yes, we're back
Okay.
down to double digits. So you are $78 to the good. You want to grab the box of Mike?
Yep.
All right.
I say I know I picked last time.
You did. So I get to
you-
pick this one.
hold
So
Mike.
I am at a
Hold Mike.
4 in a row. So let's see if I can put some more, hurting on your lead. What'd you do? Do not break him.
I'm trying not to.
Don't
but his
break
his
him.
nose is all fucking
Yeah,
caved
well,
in.
it happens. So let's see if I can't get some more, make it a closer game, or if you get to put more of a lead there.
Trying to like hold him for the camera so you can tell that it's a skunk. Then I'm not just like.
Oh,
Heading, there you
I
go.
believe this is you.
I
I believe it is you. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. This is you. You can't fucking see what
is
you're looking
it?
for.
It's a fun
what are you
one.
looking for? Our next episode, episode 48, will be the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Oh, okay.
Axis Bold as Love, or
There we
Bald
go.
as Love. Bold, yes. So that will be episode 48. We have the possibility of we have the possibility of a special guest on this one as well.
What the fuck?
Excuse me, we'll have to see if he is available next Sunday night. You good next Sunday night?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if he's available and go from there. And so that ends my little streak there of 4 in a row. So start your own streak. This is not I like Jimi Hendrix. This is not my favorite Jimi Hendrix album.
We'll talk about that next
Yeah,
week.
we can talk about it next week. But this is still I believe a pretty decent one. It'll be a lot of fun talking some Jimi Hendrix, talk guitars.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. It'll be a good time.
Smells like slight water damage
Okay.
because Jimi Hendrix Experience
Yeah, it would be a
isn't
little
far
bit-
enough in the alphabetical order to be
Okay.
on the bottom shelf.
Do you put it under E for Experience or H for Hendrix?
I think I put it under J for Jimmy.
Oh wow, you do it completely wrong.
No.
No.
I think I put it under. I think anything with the in front of it, I took it as whatever the first letter of the next word after the was.
Ooh.
So I think I had this as J for Jimi Hendrix
Okay.
Experience.
All right. I mean, I guess that's a good, whatever. I just put all Jimi Hendrix under Hendrix.
Yeah.
It's just easier. All right. So on that note, next week will be Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Which is a pain in the
Axis
ass
Bold
because
as Love.
This is where the fucking album goes in,
Uh-huh.
but that's
That's-
the fucking thing. So
Yeah.
like, I want to put it like that, but the sleeve is like that.
Yep.
It's fucking annoying.
They call that a top-loading cover.
Yeah, it's a pain in the dick. is
There you
what
go.
it is.
Speaking of pains in the dick, I gotta pee. So on that note, you got anything else to say?
No.
You love Poison. You wanna grow your hair out and wear spandex now?
No, I mean, I want to wear spandex, but it's for different reasons.
All right, cool.
It's slimming and it makes me feel good about myself.
All right, thank you very much for hanging out. It is time to.
Mama!